Welcome back. We are here for the last game of the European day. It is Bears doing their double header. They just came off the back of a win against Cloud9 with some very convincing style in the mid-game. And now they're up against Alliance. We thought it was Nip, but instead we went for the other Swedish dogs. It is in fact Alliance, Mr. Consistency team. I'm going to go with...
Always Swedes.
It's... Well, Europe is dominated by Swedes.
Is it?
Isn't it meant to be the strongest region in Europe / Scandinavia?
I'm sure it's like the middle region of Europe. Like I don't know, there's all like I don't know. It's never like all one country. It's like a mixed mash of like random teams. Those are all the European teams that are good.
Obviously, you don't talk to the Europeans then, because they're always just like, it's my country. It's Sweden or bust. It's Denmark or bust.
Nah.
It's all about the
Since
Germans.
TA3, it
It's
hasn't
the
been
Germans,
that.
man. The Germans. Fada,
5 seconds.
Kuro. Always looks at those guys and say, yep, black. Mr. I travel down to Southeast Asia and succeed.
Jordan. The Jordanians own. Firo, Miracle, Bisa.
True.
Crystal Maiden.
Very, very true.
Radiant team pick.
That's something massively inappropriate to say, but I'm not going to do it. Alright. Well, it's the classic Darkseer and Slaughter, the boys in purple, up against the Crystal Maiden. So that's what you do when IO Coddle as well as Slaughter is banned out in the first 3.
Yeah, they mixed up their bans a little bit for Bears. Last time, Alliance banned Coddle and Lone Druid, then Bears banned the other one. And then they banned like Ogre and Alliance banned another hero, and so or they banned Slaughter. That's right. And so Bears said, you know, you can leave the Lone Druid in the pool if you want. So they ban it out, and then Bears get a hold of the Slaughter, and with that they take the Darkseer, which is like a typical combo. Gives you a real nice duel offline, the AoE stun in the mid game, and it also opens up the potential to just pick a whole lot of run at you heroes with the Ion Shell if you want to.
And I'm wondering if that is like Fada's idea. Like, I was watching Alliance's games from earlier today, and most of it seems to be like, you know, we'll just be stable on our lanes. We're not going to force the issue too heavily. It's not heavy kill rotations and surprise damage kind of style. Like seeing something like a Lotus Slark is completely out of the question kind of style. Like, we're not going to have him rotate and try and kill off people. If there's this, we farm, and eventually we'll win. We just try and counter pick as best we can. It's just stable drafting.
Yeah, I think Alliance is a pretty slow team. They don't do a lot of stuff around the map, and I think that's, you know, a team like Bears, a team that's so good at these map rotations, at realizing what people want to do, where people want to go. I think that's definitely something they can punish, and you know, not going for the slower heroes like they did last game. Maybe realizing that Alliance typically plays a slower tempo and looking to bring it to them with the Dazzle as well. You know, you can sort of play both styles with the Dazzle, which is why it's a nice here. You can play that really fast, hyper-aggressive style, or you can play the wait around, we'll get our items, and we'll outmaneuver you style. So I think that, you know, the Dazzle also obviously really nice versus the Jug. Armor, always good.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
With the physical damage, like, I always like the Dazzle and the Slaughter just as a general thing. Gives Slaughter a big license to dive. But at the same time, if Alliance want to, and maybe this is actually also playing into Bear's hands, if they want to go in for something like the Axe to try and run him on the offlane, normally that nice little way to get around the Shallow Grave. But you ban at the Magnus, you ban at the Centaur, the big tanky ones, the one that's going to buff up the Juggernaut. But the main reason I was thinking at the Axe actually being better for Bears if Alliance take it is because it was Unison Farm's Timbersaw on the offlane that was actually doing something. It was the only lane where there was burst damage and force any level of rotations when it had success. Everson Axe, a lot more easier to manage for Bears.
Yeah, they could potentially go for that. Although I think now that they have they picked up the Dazzle, it's they don't really have a spot for this Axe anymore.
So you can't fit it in for Alliance?
Oh, for Alliance. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking Alliance is offlane. I'm thinking Unison Farm. What he plays.
Okay. Yeah, I think they definitely could go for the Axe. I think sort of the issue is what happened last draft, which is you pick this Axe and then they have a Dazzle and they pick another really strong laner and then you just get forced out the lane and then you just have this jungle hero. OD.
Alliance
Okay.
Okay. Who wants to put their money on the draw as the last one?
I think it's possible.
Just force down the lanes and just.
I wonder if they're gonna do safe lane OD or not. They've
Ooh, yeah.
teams have done a
10
little bit of safe lane
seconds
OD in the
remaining.
past. I think if they go for the Axe, and a safe lane OD is quite possible. Although I don't think they're picking
5
Axe into
seconds
OD. That's like
remaining.
some mega miserable
Yeah, that's not a happy
matchup. I think the OD is really, really good here. They have all this armor, and they have, Elder Titan is not a hero that really does anything versus the OD. It's not a hero that can pressure him. And, you like to have these very, very chaotic heroes versus OD. You like to have a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff going on, so OD isn't able to just sit there and right-click. And Elder Titan is the opposite of that. Elder Titan is about structure. He's about, we're going to set up a stomp, we're going to play these very structured fights. Sort of the same with CM. So I think the OD, he has a lot of heroes to back him up, to buff him up, to make sure he doesn't get bursted down. And, you can also save people when they're getting Omni Slash. I think it's just a really nice OD game.
You need a town pusher though. Like if you want to, like you're asking for a chaos creator as well as a tower pusher. Unless you think you get enough chaos creation out of Slider and Darkseer together. Because I'm wondering then, who do you run in the mid? Do you get like a DK, and have him be your jump runner in the mid?
For
Bears, I'm thinking like, who do they run in the mid that actually combos with the OD?
I think it's,
if you're running OD safe.
Yeah, I think it's just something like they potentially could do, as they have the last pick open, and they do have the 10th pick. So since it is sniper mid, I think it's more likely they actually do the OD safe lane.
Yeah.
If they're looking for a hero mid for Fada, I think the Mirana isn't too bad here. Sort of a hero that's never super good and never super bad, but that in and of itself can be a perk a lot of times. It's never this hero that's just, if you aren't sure what to pick, or if there aren't heroes that are super good, you can go for that. The Storm is a little bit greedy, although I think Alliance supports are pretty bad versus the Storm Spirit. You have the root from CM, but that's, it's in concept it's nice because you can root him, but it's pretty hard to actually get on top of him. You're really slow. You have to walk up and press Frostbite him as an animation. It's in actuality it's kind of hard to do. Okay, so they think it's a mid OD.
Yeah.
From Alliance. I'm curious if they actually do safe lane OD or not. We'll see.
It's probably just what Bears feel is more comfortable as a matchup against the sniper.
Yeah, because sniper is like super good versus OD in the lane and in just the entire game.
Is there like a melee combo that you could run with a dazzle? So you actually have like if you can put like PA as well as a dazzle against the sniper, make something like that work. So OD has the one-on-one matchup with the offlaner. As you said, like they can see the entire draft of Alliance before they do this, and they got all the reserve time in the world. So
yeah, I think they can definitely like figure out what they want to do. I think though you typically want the dazzle in the safe lane, because like one of the big strengths of that hero is being able to shove the lane out and like abuse the pull like constantly and just get him like really far ahead, and also the ability to just leave this hero, the support in the safe lane that really enjoys the farm, get that super fast solo crest like they did last game, and even just pressure the tower because you can just get the creeps, putting the pressure in so quickly.
10 seconds remaining.
Alliance is pretty hard pressed for time.
yeah, they've got 4 okay.
All right,
Nyx Assassin.
That's an obvious one. Good versus the OD. Although they have like the mech, they have Dazzle Heal, they have Grave, so it may be hard to like actually bring down these heroes. And I think it doesn't necessarily fit into, or it doesn't fit super well against what Bears want to do. They have like these pretty good 5-man heroes. They have really strong lanes, and I think if it is a safe lane OD will like dump on Nyx pretty hard.
Even then, like Bears is pretty free to do whatever the hell they want. If lanes get rough, they can even switch the Darkseer and Slider down to the bottom lane. If Nyx wants to deal with a consistent Iron Shell, it's not that you want to run a safe lane Darkseer in this.
Yeah, I don't even think doing safe lane Darkseer would be that bad. Although I don't know what carrier you're picking that can contest a Juggernaut CM.
But if you run like Dazzle, Slider, off lane with like the one core on top of that, you can get up in the face of the Juggernaut. You can force Elder Titan to stay on that top lane, but then that still leaves you with an OD sniper mid.
Yeah, and I think you want some hero that's, I'm trying to think what's core they want that's good versus sniper. Terrorblade.
Alright, so they will actually push the OD into the mid then, judging by the Terrorblade last pick.
Could also be Tahi being mid. I don't think it's awful, but I think this is actually pretty nice for Bears. I think a lot of teams will pick this TB and they'll leave it safe lane versus the Knicks because you actually just don't care. Like the Terrorblade has a very, very nice time 1v1 versus the Knicks. And the Knicks is a hero that's like really bad at defending his tower to just these pushes that just mount on him.
Yeah. But then you have the defense which Alliance has been using. Like they just push EGM to the off lane and say like we just put a spirit down and it slows down a large amount of the push. And with sniper shrapnel, potentially if you can get the Maelstrom at a decent time as well, that's going to slow down the Terrorblade's push.
Yeah, I don't think this is one of those games where you can just show up and just like you just walk down a lane and take a tower. I think you more have to like almost gank the towers a little bit to bring them down quickly, like get set up and take the tower like super fast before Alliance can react. So I think this game actually a lot like last one could come down a lot to movements and like reads around the map if they can get like set up and take the right towers at the right times, trying to avoid like this Elder Titan Nyx, because they have a lot of like burst potential. They stomp somebody, they use the Nyx spell, the assassinate over the top. It's a lot of damage very, very quickly.
Now this war's getting really consistent up from Bears. I'm wondering how long it's going to take until a team who plays against them when they're on the Dire side like just instantly dewards this.
Yeah.
But this time around, Yapso will get both of his... okay, he's not going to get both of his wards down. He came up to see if his smoke was going to break. Is it actually his intentional play to come up here just to check and see if anyone is nearby before putting down the Observer ward?
Yeah, I think just, you know, like once you've gotten the ward down, you can do some sort of a tricky play sometimes where like you come up there and you show and they haven't they see one obs in your inventory, so they think, oh, he hasn't placed one yet. Yeah. And you can sort of bait them into a false sense of security. Maybe what he's trying to do there, or, you know, just get info.
It's just the fact he's done the same mind game 2 times in a row. One time the smoke breaks and one time the smoke doesn't. But his result is still the same. It's the move down and put the Observer ward to watch the mid.
Yeah, and that ward is just so strong. And there's a lot of places it could be too. It could be like lower down under the shrine. It could be deeper in the jungle. It could be higher up towards the left. It's just, there's just so many possibilities. Unless you see the slaughter coming up, it's just very, very hard to guess.
It looks like Farder's preparing himself for a large amount of damage. He's brought 8 tangos to this bottom lane along with the salve and the stout shield to start with. So probably going to get up in the face of the next assassin a hell of a lot on the lane.
Yeah, I think he was maybe expecting this Elder Titan to start down bottom with the Nyx. But he's actually going to go up to this top point, so they're not going to give this Slaughter Darkseid this free 2v2 scenario where they just do whatever they want and, you know, shove the lane in. Oh.
There's the root. Straight into the spin. You do have the stomp available for EGM, but for Rev makes a break for the tree line. The Iron Shells are causing issues for Hanskin, so he can't stay with this one, but EGM gets the stop, or can he? No, Slaughter will crush it, interrupt it, and then the extra root, so the Darkseid will still go down. Alliance knew exactly what they were getting into thanks to that Observe Ward over on the side, but then again, Yamsor's doing some work. He went for the early win lay, so he has the movement speed against EGM. He's going to find him in the tree lines, gets the crush off before the stomp can complete this time around. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off, but First Blood still goes the way of Alliance.
Yeah, it was very nice from Yapsor. They get the kill there, and I don't even think they're that sad about giving up the First Blood. Alliance had to commit so much that Hanskin used all of his mana and then popped his clarity, so isn't gonna have too much mana in the upcoming minutes. It's gonna, you know, only has like 1 Frostbite left. Has gotten the Arcane Aura now, so he doesn't really care too much about it. But
so the only thing he might be a little bit sad about is the fact that Farev couldn't get to the 2nd level of the Iron Shell. But yeah.
But yeah, in the meanwhile, Yapsor actually gets his boots off of that kill. And the lane is sort of stabilized as well. Like the Elder Titan comes up here, he commits. They commit all this time. And meanwhile, the Nyx is going to start having a rough time down bottom. Fada's getting free farm. And now that this Darkseer is, you know, sort of past that stage where they're going to commit for a super early kill, he can start Ion Shelling this wave out. And, you know, he can always retreat to jungle as well. So I don't think he's really upset about that early death.
This little battle between Adam as well as Unison Farm. Unison Farm's like really coming off the best out of it when he has 3 creeps around him and he can just be open to the Shadow Wave damage of the Dazzle. Contesting the pull at that point doesn't really make it really worthwhile, but Yapsol, high movement speed with a sprint, but as he has that on, he's getting frostbitten up for just a half a second.
Yeah. Firo actually doing really well mid. Actually up on Limp
Now that you said that.
so far.
Like there's EGM just sitting behind the tower at level 2, so he's got the Spirit Stomp available. With level 2 Shrapnel, they should be able to hold the Sniper in position for this, and exactly what they are doing. So Yapzor will die up on the top lane, but we'll watch the mid. He'll avoid the Stomp with a defensive imprisonment, but a third Shrapnel is thrown down. And OD, he knows his fate, so he'll accept it. Good rotation in from EGM, and nice synergy with Limp.
Yeah, they get the bring down there on the OD. He bought the second Null Talisman, so it's going to give a little bit more last hitting power, which you kind of need versus the Sniper, because it's very, very hard to deal with the instant animation whenever you're OD. He has pretty garbage damage since the nerfs, and his animation isn't great either. So gets the double Null, won't have the boots. If he had the boots there, maybe he could have possibly gotten away.
Isn't that a little bit weird, the fact he actually finishes the second Null before buying boots? Or was it maybe it's because he started off with different items too?
I think it's okay. I think even if he gets boots there, there's a possibility he goes down. And you really just want that extra damage versus the Sniper, because if you get behind on this matchup, then things can get like very, very grim very quickly. He actually has the Midas queued up, so we've seen some ODs go for Midas, some not. I think a lot of the Chinese ODs will go for Midas, CC&C being the most notable one, who like almost always goes for Midas on OD. And they play it as like a very, very farm-oriented hero, and I think that suits Bear's style quite well. As Fada is almost always like the more space creator. He makes stuff happen on the map, and I think Terrorblade, sort of like Luna, very, very similar vein. Their two cores sort of play similar roles.
It's gonna be gang time again on the top lane just a bit. That Observer Ward's still lasting for another 2 minutes. So it's very difficult for Bears to set anything up properly, so they know that Yapzor is aggressively pushed into the Dire jungle. Let's him take the bounty rune.
Yeah, he's sneaking around up there, and Rev, only level 3. He may actually...
He could go, like, I'm waiting for Yapzor to move in towards the mid. That Observer Ward knows exactly where EGM walked to, so Ferev can give him an Iron Shell. Okay, he's going to surge him up as well. They're going after Hanskin. Hanskin has to turn for the Frostbite, but it was still down. And now with the Iron Shell burn, can he actually get through in time? Back in range of the Tier 1 tower. Yapzor sacrificing himself to ensure a kill on the Crystal Maiden. Worth it, you can ask yourself. Some farmers having a one-on-one battle with a Dazzle, but having that double damage rune, he has enough damage to do it. Unison Farm.
Wow.
Just knowing
crazy.
what he can get away with.
Yeah, he gets the solo kill there. His shrine is on cooldown, so he's probably gonna have to go back to base in a little bit, as he is pretty low. Although Fada's Metamorphosis is down, so maybe won't even have to. Yep, so we're trying to punish that by wrapping around, but
he's got sprint off cooldown now. There is Spike Carapace available, so Yapzor's timing kind of has to be right on the money, but he doesn't have the vision. Unison Farm hung around a little bit too long.
Rev goes down top again. Yeah, this is not a happy Darkseer game. You want the dual line, you want to put the pressure there, so the OD can have space mid. Can actually get some items up, but this Darkseer has gone down quite a few times, and the Elder Titan was still able to rotate on mid, so I think Alliance, the early game has been really good. Securing the top one, making sure Loda has farm. It's almost always Alliance's #1 priority. They play around Loda like a whole lot. It's like it's always his farm, making sure he has a good start is like #1 priority, and everything else comes after that. Yep. And they were still able to give the Sniper a good lane and rotate on the OD. And the Nyx is having a pretty decent time down bottom. So I think a lot of this game for Bears right now to sort of pull the tempo back into something they're okay with is like down to Fada, and looking for that first rotation from Alliance and trying to be on the opposite side of the map and split push that tower.
But that's difficult to do. As long as EGM has a TP scroll up, he can just jump over and stop the push.
Yeah, it's definitely a very small window, but I think that's sort of what they have to go for right now. Fada's just going to farm with the jungle and try and get the Dazzle up to that Solar Crest, or at least give him boots, give him something right now. He only has 200 net worth, so he really needs this time in the safe line to potentially get up to some small items that'll maybe help them take these like smaller early game fights. But as of now, I don't think Bears is interested in fighting at all. They just want to get up like whatever small items they can and potentially counter one of Alliance's plays, because they have a hard time really making anything happen right now.
By time. This is still just it's a rinse repeat of what Bears did when they last ran their Terrorblade. Like, I don't see any difference between this with that Dazzle and Terrorblade. Like, Fada just goes jungle, and he won't come out for a long time. In fact, he's actually doing a double stack of Ancients at the moment with his Metamorphosis. Okay. Impressment from OD, protects him from the assassination of Limp.
Yeah, he has phase boots up on left now, so this lane gets super hard for OD. Only has 28 CS compared to the 30 of Limp. It's like basically even, but now that he has those phase boots, it's gonna start getting considerably harder for the OD.
Adam's being stalked. He's trying to do the pullover, and he did manage to find 3, but with the stun and the Spirit coming down, EGM will find the kill on the Dazzle. So not much net worth to his name, but he did buy his boots. So he has that at least. But you got a boots and TP scroll Dazzle. Not the happiest day of your life.
That is not near as farmed as he was last game. At this point, he probably had a medallion or something like that. He was extremely farmed, but not near that level this game. YapzOr is slowly working towards his level 6, almost up to it.
They slept again on bottom lane. There's not enough damage from both of them just to get the straight up burst kill, but one more attack would do it. Dazzle is so low. He had Shallow Grave available as well, and YapzOr's going to rotate in. They look for the Storm. Adam just pushes a little bit further to the right.
Oh, he has the Iron Shell.
Yep, with the Iron Shell damage, they need to move away from it, but Adam is able to get the Shadow Wave in again. So the physical damage will kick on the stunned up target.
Yeah, it's a really nice rotation there. And YapzOr having the clarity as well. So I think he bought an extra one, and I think that's really huge. Like having these clarities, having your heroes up at enough mana to where they can, potentially TP in and rotate and turn these ganks around. So whenever you're behind like this, you can't have these heroes farming jungle camps at super low HPs, because if something happens and you're not ready to turn around, take that advantage, then it's pretty costly, because you really need to capitalize on those small windows whenever you're in a situation like this where you're all just pinned in your lanes, can't really do anything, aren't in a position, and getting out farmed as well in the lanes.
Okay, the Observer and Sentry scattered Unison Farms rotation. The one that was just on the bottom rune area. So they know the Nyx Assassin's on the hunt on the Radiant side. They just don't know exactly where. So Unison Farm misses everything inside the jungle and then comes over, hits for Rev just as he did his Surge as well. So the kill is still going to work. And YapzOr having to defensively hold around the rest of that Darkseer wall. Gets double amplification up, has the movement speed, but again, Root, such a great ability. Rotation's coming over as the OD who's on his way up. He's got 1 point up in the orb, so there's a little bit of extra damage to play with. He'll throw out the imprisonment instead, but with Limp here, the Shrapnel's going to go under the ram. It's going to be difficult to get away, especially when the Spike Capra's there. They can't turn around and attack. YapzOr just wants one last little hit to get it, and he will be able to. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-up, but you just traded your Crystal Maiden for an OD.
Yeah, they're very happy with that. At the very least, they just delay this tower being pushed a little bit, so now the Iron Shell shoving the wave out. So it's going to be at least a minute before Alliance is able to pressure this tower again. But yeah, you don't want your OD going down like that. It's not a hero that really does anything from behind. Whenever this hero falls behind, he just farms. That's all he does. So it's on the other heroes of Bears to make the space, to give him the time to get up to the point where he can actually fight, because he's going to need a lot of items if he's behind this game to be able to fight.
A soldier's fortune.
Oh wow, they really need that Observer Ward to stay up too. Hansen gets through the vision on bottom lane. Adam gets caught out the tree line, holding in almost exactly the same place as before. They find that kill. YapzOr, he's body blocking up the Nyx Assassin while he's sitting in an Invis rune, and the crush, it'll connect, and part of the damage is huge. He'll get himself a double kill. Nyx and ET to drop, and now the pressure to the tier 1 tower is coming.
Yeah, YapzOr is playing really well right now with the TP down to the bottom and the turnaround kill onto the, I think it was the Nyx Assassin, or was it the Nyx's first death? Okay, yeah, so it was the Elder Titan before, and then now the nice body blocks, and they get the kill on those couple of heroes. It's pretty huge. The Sniper walks down to bottom to make sure they're not able to dish out too much damage, but you can see this is the kind of move Spot needs to make. He ports to mid immediately after and forces a rotation from EGM at the very least. So he doesn't get this tower, but as long as he's pulling these supports around like this, making space for Firo to catch up. In the meantime, YapzOr can farm down bottom, or Adam work towards his Solar Crest. It just opens up space on the map. I think Fod is playing really well right now, and he has to continue to make these kinds of moves. That TP was super smart.
Keep Alliance checking behind themselves. Top tower is still going to go the way of Alliance as YapzOr completely isolated, cops the entire Omni Slash. It's only level 1, however, so only 3 jumps, not enough to kill a Slaughter from 100%. And Unison Farm as he was coming up behind Yapsor. Yapsor makes another good play, moves up, takes the bounty rune, and then runs away under the cover of smoke. A lot of movement speed and very quick.
Yeah, this Darkseer is not in a happy place. Only has the Arcane Boots headdress, slowly working towards that mech, but it's going to be quite some time. And even once he has it, I don't think that'll really enable them to fight so much.
It at least enables Yapsor. Like, it's kind of like the sad thing, right? Like, Darkseer kind of sucks for sustaining the team fights without the mech, but at least he can give the Iron Shells over.
Yeah, he's just an Iron Shell for Slaughter right now, letting Slaughter potentially turn things around. They do have a Yasha now up on the Terrorblade, so opting to go for that instead of the Dragonlance, realizing I need to get really farmed this game. The movement speed is really nice for moving around the map and potentially outmaneuvering Alliance. And, you know, getting the Dragonlance, just that extra range for the towers isn't really that useful at all. The HP, not really either, as they can still burst it from 100 to 0.
Units of Farm's waiting for his target. He's going to find Forev running around. A lot of pressure being applied towards the mid. The OD's gone down again. Just a sniper chipping away and pushing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was waiting for the Nyx Assassin to be the one to start things up just around the camps. The Bears was farming to the northwest, but nope, it's the mid.
Yeah, slowly plinking the tower down. He does have the Midas. I'm going to start working towards the Trez, the Hurricane Pike, the typical items you see, but it's going to be quite some time before he's useful. At the very least, they have some decent tower push. They have these heroes that can just sort of stand up in front of the tower and defend it, with like the Dazzle sitting behind them, healing them up. So Sniper can chip away a little bit.
The Units of Farm's in a lot of trouble. He's got 4 1 charges as well as Spike Carapace now coming off cooldown. So Yapsor, he didn't wait long enough for it, but the Darkseer Illusion will do the work anyway.
Yeah, getting kills like that is absolutely huge. The Slaughter is only 400 away from Blink right now. Yapsor's had a really, really good game. It's very important he has too. You know, constantly getting these turnaround kills, figuring out multiple clarities so he can always stay on the map and is in the position to do those types of moves. And yeah, once he has that Blink Dagger, it'll make it a little bit harder for Alliance to pressure these towers. The Sniper won't be able to play it near as courageously.
Fada actually committed this Metamorphosis for this defense. They really want to hold this tier 1 town. Normally 14 minutes in, you just let this go, but now it's Fada, and he's going to cop the entire Omni Slash. It was already low enough, so Metamorphosis blown. Fada will drop. The fortification's off on the tier 1 tower, but this is just keeping Adam feeling like he's got a chance to do something, but Units of Farm right on top of him. Brings down the Dazzle, while Loda takes the tower.
Yeah, I think.
And maybe a little bit more. The Crusher's out. TP support's on the way. Anskin doesn't have any more control, so Yapsor just sprints out.
Yeah, I think they were trying to turn it around with the Dazzle getting a Grave off, and then you can beat him down, Sunder at the last second, potentially get a kill and maybe hold the tower, but he was just out of range with the Dazzle, was trying to stay out of vision, and that Catapult kind of messing things up. Getting vision very, very early of the Terrorblade, just because it's so fast. So nice play from Loda, not just AFK clicking his creeps on it, but moving into the trees and getting the vision there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So Alliance, not that far ahead, just over 4,000 in the gold. The experience is pretty much level, but it does tilt the way it bears slightly.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But Alliance have a lot more money sitting inside their cores. Loda rapidly approaching that Manta-style completion. The Sniper, after having the early Maelstrom, is now going back into the Dragonlance.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah, so buying
is
these
under
more
attack.
farming-oriented items, not going for like
Dire's top tower
the
is under
That sentry. The Creep Wave starts attacking Units of Farm. He knows it. Spike Carapace pretty quickly. The Spirit's just making space now. They just want the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, there's not really too much Bears can do about that. They're just walking up to this tier 1. Sniper's super long range, and this Juggernaut is basically unkillable at this point. They know the Metamorphosis is down, and they want to keep pressuring. Every time Bears uses the meta, or here gets caught out of position, or they see someone TP to a lane, just looking to abuse that as much as possible and take down these towers. They have the Juggernaut, they have the Sniper, they have the tools to actually bring down the towers this game. And I'm just setting up, scouting around with Jonas and Fawn all the time, looking for these pickoffs in the meanwhile.
Oh, Bears getting together. Looks like we're going to have ourselves our 5-man smoke. The question will be, do they look for kills, or is this actually the moment when you try and slip in and try and take Roshan? Do you have enough damage to do that with the amplification as well?
Yeah, you definitely have the dam. It's just a matter of if you get scouted, which you're definitely going to get scouted.
Yeah, EGN's waiting for it. The blink up, the crush will be there. So Yapsor, he knew when the Spirit came down that EGM had to be there, looking for the stomp, can't get off in time. There's a lot of shrapnels down for the moment. With a fresh sentry too, Units of Farm's going to be careful just running into this one with a Frostbite. OD has to defensively imprison. Fada running forward, but Limp's doing all the damage, and OD, the chance of getting out of here. Where's that grave? It's going to be there in time as Loda starts to spin. He's moving up, he's looking for the supports as now Crystal Maiden, she'll let it go. The OD will come back out, instantly killed off too. It's a double kill for the Lady of Ice. And Bear's trap, well, they did spring one on EGM, but it instantly bit them in the butt.
Yeah, it took so long for him to die because he had the medallion working for a solar crest of his own, and that actually changed everything. If they killed him just a little bit faster, they could have got out, get a free kill, and then maybe they can even take this mid tower because the Elder Titan is the perfect hero to kill as almost all of their tower defense. Well, I guess they have sniper, but you know, it's a big part of their tower defense. So the good thing that mid tower is absolutely huge, but nice nice play from the rest of the team, rotating in immediately and having that the medallion because he is so far and like turned everything around.
Fada's dead. Omni Slash will go out. It creates illusion pretty quickly, but whoops.
Oof.
That Sunder was meant for somebody else.
Yeah, he meant to swap the Nyx, but I think he swapped the illusion on Max, so that was unfortunate.
Oh, Loda starting up the spin. Limp's here as well, and the EGM Spirit's down. They're going to find the OD. He only just got back to the Wall of the Living and is sent back to the graveyard. 40 seconds without the OD. The push is coming to bottom lane. Alliance are having the time of their life. The only advantage for Bears is the fact that Forev is getting more and more space up on this top lane.
Yeah,
that's a very small advantage.
He's working towards that blank, and the Slaughter has his, so that's sort of what they're banking on right now is Alliance groups up, they get this huge 5-man, or, you know, doesn't have to be 5-man, but a multiple man back into the Crush.
You're looking for the literal Ravage is what you're looking for.
Yeah. And because this OD, he can't really farm around the map at this point. The Nyx is too scary, so he has to go with his team. They have to sort of play this 5-man style and wait for Alliance to make mistakes whenever they're taking towers. You know, farm whatever camps they can, try and defend their side of the map and farm up their jungle, get whatever items they can, and eventually just get to that point where they're holding high ground because they do potentially have very, very strong late game. Obviously, Dazzle, Terrorblade, OD, you know, Slaughter. These are not late game heroes to scoff at, but if you don't have the items to enable your heroes, then things are not great. They're going to smoke up, it looks like. Yeah, so they're going to try and make something happen. They realize if they just sit around, don't do anything, then eventually Alliance is going to take Roshan, and the game's going to get super hard.
They're coming for the fight. EGM just used his stomp, so that won't be available for another 6 seconds. Which may be the perfect window for Bears to move forward. The issue is they don't have any vision. Now they will. The Observer Ward up on the hillside will break the smoke of Alliance. Both teams just running into each other. While Fada is being stalked by Unison Farm down the trees all the way on the bottom. Fada starts his TP. That's never going to complete. And now he's trapped. He can't just run out. So he'll sunder onto the Unison Farm. The Assassinate's there and Terrorblade is toast. Loda will find the kill with a spin. And yet another opening, another smoke engagement goes the way of Alliance.
Yeah, and they immediately run over. They try and take the Roshan, but the Alliance have that ward there. They see him running into the pit, and they're not going to let that happen. Off of getting that kill, they may even go for the Roshan themselves. You got some fun scouting around a little bit, may try and find the OD, but yeah, the Alliance just going to continue to keep Bears from pushing out these lanes. They have some, they don't really have the deepest of wards. That one near the Roshan pit is really their only kind of deep ward in the map right now. They're both around the river.
They're lucky they get to keep that ward. The sentry ward that Hans can place is just out of range. But again, they've got the best ward. It's the bug ward, Nyx Assassin. He's just stalking. He's stalking the OD.
Yeah,
OD had a double damage. He wanted Roshan and he couldn't get it. He was being watched the entire time.
Yeah, and there's nothing they can really do about it. You can see his Midas is even off cooldown, and he's too scared to walk to the camp that's just right there. He's actually using the Cur to give him vision so he doesn't have to walk down there. They're that scared of this Nyx Assassin.
It's rightly so. They've lost too many heroes too many times. Forev can play the tree line. At least this is the upside for a Darkseer now with a Blink Dagger. Can just run through the tree line, let the Iron Shells do the pushing, and it will force a rotation out from Alliance. This kind of chip damage into a tier 2 tower is just something they don't need to accept.
Yeah, it gives them a little more options, a little more space now, but he finishes up his Force Staff. And if you look at the cores of Bears, they're not like super underfarmed. You know, you see the Darkseer, the Terrorblade, and the OD. They're all right around the sniper mark. You know, the Jug is considerably far ahead, but it's these supports. The Dazzle, you know, if you compare his net worth this game to last game, he has a Solar Crest. They're pushing down buildings. he can do whatever he wants this game. Just brown boots. That's it. And Dazzle is a hero that if he's not thriving, you know, if you're not getting ahead earlier, if you're not like succeeding in your lanes, your cores are doing the work, he's not a hero that really does that much. The armor can be nice, but you just die so quickly. It becomes very, very hard if you don't have at least some form of items that you can, you know, use to like buff up yourself or the Odin Terrorblade, whatever. But you know, he isn't even close to medallion. Odds are, unless this game turns around, he may never get a medallion.
Money just got spent by EGM to get the gem. Got a funny feeling Alliance is a little bit more cautious now about where they're sending Unison from. Even though he's being wonderfully aggressive, with probably one more successful gank, he's going to be pretty much to his Blink Dagger at that point. Because his Hand of Midas just came off cooldown too. So it's just that extra cash.
Yeah. Bears is playing so safe right now, and they need to. They can't really do anything on the map. They can, you know, maybe look for one more smoke play with potentially like the thought of Manta style. They're waiting for and a little bit of gold. Maybe give them a little bit better of a chance to fight. But they have this ward around the Roshan pit, so they're just potentially looking for anyone to move into the Rosh pit and try and take a fight around there, or fight people whenever they're heading over to that area. Just look for any straggler they can. You know, at a right times. They do have the smoke and Slaughter's backpack. And just farm up on the cores. They really, really do not want to give up the Roshan. As they see them moving in, and yeah, this is sort of the time where they have to go. They have to do something. If they give up this Roshan, then their high ground is going to get pressured. But okay, no, so Alliance is actually going. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't commit to it. Both teams had the vision just because it's on their own side of the rivers. And that EGM gem, has it actually come out? It's still sitting on the courier. I'm wondering if that was just a misclick, because they delivered the Greaves. Actually, sorry, they delivered out some other items, but it didn't bring the gem with them.
Interesting.
It's a lot of money to spend just to leave it on the courier. So I think they've cottoned onto the fact of like, whoops, I think we left something behind. So Loda begins this. Nope, the gem's still being sent back.
What the heck? I bet.
Oh no, here, yeah, they've turned it around now.
I bet what happened is he didn't realize he didn't have any slots in his inventory, and the gem can't go to the backpack, so it just bounced back.
Yeah. So it's a tier 1 tower trade-off is what Bears is going for. And Alliance have a decision to make. Like, potentially they could end up losing out on both, but at the same point they haven't just yet. Forev goes for the wall, the back. There's only Loda
Really
in
good.
it, however, so it's a huge waste of a combination. But Roshan is very low. Bears potentially can slip in and take it from underneath Alliance if Alliance has done all the hard work, so Forev is just waiting.
Uh-oh.
Sitting inside the pit.
Oh no.
He'll get back out again.
He's getting wrecked by that illusion.
Not Loda.
Yeah. Doesn't have the healing ward for 1 or 2 seconds more, but they still have the shrine up, and it's just so hard. Like, Bears can't commit into the pit. They have the stomp, they have the sniper, and it just gives you so much Roshan control. Like, you can never slip in there.
Can anyone from Bears actually give him vision on that hillside? There's an observer ward which they can't deep ward because they don't see it. But their sentry is in range.
Yeah.
Here they go again, the back from Forev, well off target. The Weaver's out from the Dazzle, trying to remove that armor from the Juggernaut. He's not really that tanky to start with. So you put him into the negatives, that'll be rough, but the stun is perfect. In from Unison Farm. It keeps Yapsa in position, keeps Blink Dagger on cooldown. And Alliance will take Roshan, and they still hold their tier 1 tower. Even if the tier 2 tower on bottom lane was pushed in by Fada.
Yeah, and this is sort of the risk you run whenever you pick an OD. After, you know, only seeing 3 heroes, is that Alliance suddenly turn up the pressure, go for them their normal, like, we're going to play slow, be methodical, not really do too much on the map, and then suddenly you're playing versus a you know, Sniper and a Nyx, and your game is very, very difficult and unfun. As they're slowly farming up. Their cores are getting farm, and they're farming at, you know, slightly slower rates than the cores of Alliance, but it's really just these supports. The Crystal Main, you know,
I hit the money. They didn't. Okay. He took the rune underneath the observer ward.
That's
so
nice.
Bears scanned just to make sure they knew exactly where he was going. And a Crystal Maiden who has a dominating streak gives 481 gold to Forev.
Yeah, that was really nice. They get a kill there. The mid tower is denied. They're getting whatever gold they can. This Dazzle is, you know, he's just sort of resigned to, you know, just being a weave. and a Grave here or there if he can. But getting level 12 would be nice, getting the extra armor from the Weave. But this Elder Titan is just so farmed. The Crystal Maiden has a 4-staff, and those small items can make pretty big differences in these fights. They also have just such better scouting with the, you know, for on these Roche areas or these just Mexican standoffs that keep happening.
Alright, where's Alliance headed to next? Unison farm back inside of Vendetta. He's the man carrying the gem for his team.
Radiant's middle tower is
So
under
they'll find the Observer and Sentry just a little bit further to the south. No reason to break the Vendetta for it.
Dire's top tower is
But it's a
under
4-man push down mid. The 5th is on the way. It's the Crystal Maiden. But again, I look to that bottom lane. I look to see Fada with a lot of illusions pushing in the lane. Metamorphosis is off cooldown. He's even got a little bit of help with the Dazzle just sitting behind. So while they're going to lose their tier 2 tower in mid, there's enough pressure on bottom that maybe Alliance come back after taking the tier 2.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, they that's what Bears want. They don't want them to force the high ground, but it looks like that's what they're gonna do. Fada has the Manta though.
Okay, there she just burns everything.
Yeah, they gotta come back. There's no way.
That's a lot of armor. The
Oh.
Weave
Did he get
already
his
doing
TP
his work, and then a straight TP out, back towards the middle lane. That's where the fight is, and the Slaughter, he's down. The Darkseer wall at least seems to have caused a little bit of confusion and chaos.
Yeah, they used with the wall down meta half duration. Whenever that wears off, Alliance is gonna have a very, very strong window where they can go high ground. I don't know how much Bears can actually do about it.
They're already in. To the spin damage, the tower's down to half life. They back, trying to pull into. Fada doing the range damage, but Spire Carapace, meaning that Nyx Assassin can't be the target unless they want to stun themselves.
Yep, and they're just gonna reset. They're still healing up with the healing ward. Just pops it, and the sniper can just blink away from miles away. It's a really, really nice combo. So you put the Spirit on the hill, so the sniper has vision. Is actually able to hit up the high ground and just sit from so far away.
Oh, what a stomp. It hits over onto, and maybe, well, again, it's a vac, but there's no wall combination. It's still on cooldown for the moment, and they have to trigger off the Shrine in order to get the life. No go for a Blink Crush over on the ET, and Fada trying to get back out again. The Omni Slash getting lost inside the illusions, with the Slaughter being lost outside the base. He's down for 50 seconds. Loda feels maybe he can bring down that melee Rex. Starts off with a spin, so you can't get that orb damage into Loda just yet. Pushes back, he's still got the Aegis Immortal. So Alliance, it looked like they just want a tier 3 tower. Now they take the melee ranks as well, plus the kill onto the OD. You know it's coming, he pushes away. Defensive imprisonment. Is there another shrapnel charge gonna go out? Not likely. But he's gonna go down anyway. No way to escape. And Alliance take the full mid racks plus the extra kills. And they burn, what, an Aegis? That's all they lost for that?
Yeah, that's it. It's so hard for Bears to fight. There's no way they're ever gonna get this Darkseer vac wall with the Slaughter Crush. Because the Alliance is always just so spread out. They have a Crystal Maiden, an Elder Titan, you know, a Sniper. It's sort of the same story as the last game, where they just have so many spread out heroes, all these defensive heroes all over the back of the fight, and it's very, very hard for Bears to, you know, jump in. It's sort of the opposite story that Bears had last game. The Nyx as well can always blink in and carapace right whenever the Darkseer jumps in, so can jump onto the wall or jump in the middle of the vacuum, so can sort of stunt the combo there as well. And yeah, it's really rough for Bears. They're gonna smoke up an Alliance. They don't want to wait around and give them a chance to farm any their next items. Fada gets the BKB, but that's sort of we'll see how much impact it has, but I don't know how much it'll do, as he really doesn't just dish out the right clicks as much as he would want to.
Well, they find the opening. EGM is there for Rev. A quick fact, doesn't want a big follow-up. Yapsor's watching it. I think they have to almost sacrifice for Rev. He doesn't have the life to survive. And maybe, well, do they fight? Loda's still there on the front lines. They get the crush off with the push forward. They won't have enough, and the stun from units to farm is perfect. Limp is dishing the damage out from very, very far downtown. Hanskin will get a good ulti up as well. Sitting in the high ground, he doesn't even care about being inside the wall. At that point, it's almost just a free farm. 3 heroes down for Bears. Another great fight for Alliance. And they are looking very, very close to leveling up the score. I was just double checking it as well to see the team's results in this. Bears are still undefeated. Alliance lost 1 game. If Alliance win this, they actually tie with Bears for #1 in the group, sitting at 4-1 apiece.
Yeah, Alliance is looking really good right now. A lot better than a lot of people thought they would. Alliance, the past quite some time, have had pretty underwhelming results, but they're showing that they've got a shot for sure. They're going up against Bears, many consider to be the favorite.
Adam's in trouble. Adam's in a lot of trouble. Adam is in fact dead.
Yeah, no buyback. A little bit low on mana on Jonas and Fan, but I don't know how much it matters. They have the healing ward up and running. Sniper's going to start plinking away. Has a Manta completed in base now as well, so he is like crazy farmed on the Sniper.
Without the issue of weave and the fact that Nyx Assassin can just burrow himself down, like with a full axe, it's the range support from Alliance and this siege is just too strong. They go for Crush, they go for Imprisonments. It's almost like Bears is looking more shaken than they've looked in this entire group stage. Synergy not absolutely perfect.
They're doing whatever they can to stall, but it's just a matter of time. And Alliance is going to back up. They're not going to rush things. They don't need to.
How do you stall against that type of range? Like, you want to jump in, but then you got to come in range of the Lurk Nyx Assassin.
Yeah,
the range of the Sniper is just so huge that he doesn't even need to come inside the base to do anything.
Yeah, it's very hard. You really needed this OD to get to a point where he could just like sort of jump into the fights, have the BKB before they have all this physical damage, stand there, and just bring people down in the middle of these fights, beat down the Elder Titan, beat down the Crystal Maiden, beat down this Nyx with a BKB, but he just never really got to that stage. He's getting close to completing it now, but it's far too late.
Here they come for their last strike. So Bears have really only got one last play in them. But they don't have the OD. OD just shifted his TP scroll over. So they go for the back wall, catching out two for the ET splitter. Might actually change the odds on this one. As Crystal Maiden lets that ulti go once again, cleans up all of the line. It's a 1-for-1 trip. The Nyx Assassin did go down and leave her gem. His gem sitting on the deck. A quick sunder, dropping Loader down very, very low on life. And they just try and keep going. OD retreat back out. Yule's up and towards the air. Hits the ground, then gets frosted down by Hanskin. Fada, does he have enough? Can he hold this soloist? Just him.
My goodness.
He'll kill EGM off before the TP can complete. He'll pick up the gem as well, dropping his PMS before Hero is down, and it is only Fada who stands between Alliance and taking that third lane of Rax.
Yeah, with his meta wearing off and the killing ward coming in for 15 seconds, I think Loda may be able to take this Rax alone, or at least the tier 3 tower. I don't know how much they want to rush this. Jonas and Fan did buy back, so I think they thought they could just end the game there. They had won, but Bears with a pretty good hold. He picks up the Diffusal Plate on Fada, so it's going to give him a little more potential to defend these buildings. Jonas and Fan actually getting quite a bit of his mana burn, and yeah, they're gonna make him back off. The Absolor's up.
The Absolor needs to find the opening, gets the amplification over on the Nyx Assassin, so some good vision. Fada needs to get in range to get another Diffusal charge off, but it's not going to happen. Loader just sends the Manta Illusions down, and they've still got issues back at base. They're going to start losing their fountains. They're going to start losing their tier 4 towers if they don't get back now.
Yeah, one shrine goes down, the other's going to start to get chipped on. And just a little bit less buffer room for the next time Alliance comes to the base for these tier 4 towers. Throne. Juggernaut actually with a completed Scotty now, so he's actually able to man up in this Terrorblade quite well, up to armor, up to like 35 armor. So he is definitely he's no piece of paper for the Terrorblade to just tear apart anymore. You'll see a lot of times whenever you verse this Terrorblade versus the Dazzle, you see these melee heroes like Juggernaut, they just get shredded apart. But whenever he has this much farm, this many items, he doesn't just melt anymore. He can stand there and fight the Terrorblade. Like we saw in the last fight, he just stood there and hit him until the Terrorblade was forced to turn and hit him so he could get off of him.
They hit the perfect timing too. Slipped into the pit, the second Roshan spawned up. And the Aegis model does go to the Juggernaut.
Yeah, and they're probably just gonna march on the bottom, try that again, except not mess it up this time. They still have the gem on the Nyx Assassin. Looks like they bought another one. Oh, that's Forev's. Okay, so they traded gems. Looks like
they just do the same as top lane. That's it. Keep the range harass going. Put Loader on the front lines. He's got the second life, and you see Bears reading this.
This is really cool. They have to do something like this. They got to set up. They have a really nice ward down here as well on top of this hill, so they can see. They should be able to see where everyone is.
Are you still not there? And the Dire scanned it there. Wow. Observer, what they had is a 3-man Impale Stun from Nyx, and that might be the game there. The trap was sprung too early. using up. There's no way for the Darkseer to survive. That even dies from the fall. EGM's on the run to the illusions, but now BKB's up.
Whoa.
Pharaoh, maybe he's got the damage against the Nyx Assassin. You've still got that Eclipse available too. And Juggernaut, well, he's still not getting in there to do enough damage. The Assassination's out, it'll hit on Fada, but he's still protected by both BKB and the Shallow Grave. But Nyx Assassin was the trade-off for your two big heroes to create the combo, the big AoE vac stun.
Yeah, and that's both BKBs committed as well, so it's extremely hard for them to just stand up and fight their heroes now.
Will spin defense. No more stolen intelligence in the hands of the OD for the moment, so he needs to buff that up. Okay, so he's at 20 at the moment.
Fada's getting shredded.
Yeah, another Shallow Grave. They drop the Eclipse, looking for as much damage. Limp, can he handle 4 balls? Yes, with ease.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to stick around. Are they going to back up? Alright, they are. They don't want to rush this. They know that they potentially botch a high ground, another high ground push. This OD maybe gets a Hex, gets a Shivas, starts getting out of control. They could potentially throw this game away, and they're so close to beating the favorites to make it to the majors. So gotta play as careful as possible. Not gonna rush anything. No risks need to be taken right now as they have complete control of the map, and the ball is definitely in their court.
We have an old phrase for it: safety first.
Indeed.
A very old phrase.
Sniper almost has Butterfly now as well, so it's going to be very, very difficult to kill, as neither Terrorblade nor OD are really MKB buyers at all, ever.
Another fresh shot him up. Loader just bought an entire Moonshot. He actually commits his buyback. Like, I know he's got the Aegis, the Immortal.
I think they just want to win the game here. They're confident that they can go ends. I think the Terrorblade's meta is still on cooldown for 20 seconds, so not that long. Should be up by the time they get to the base, but they have a teeny tiny window they could potentially do something while it's still on cooldown. The OD ult is going to be on down for a very long time though, still 80 seconds.
Yeah, and that's going to be an eternity. But at least he can start hitting and get rid of these illusions nice and quick. They got sentries up, hoping that someone from Alliance is just going to go a little bit too hard in. Hearing multiple shrapnels, they find the Darkseer. Forev trying to be sneaky, sitting as close as he can so he can get that blink back onto as many of the Alliance players as possible. But observers and sentries dropping down everywhere. Loader just working away at the range racks. And they know it's too easy. There's mass sentry wards on the ground. But again, the Spirit goes up. They'll give the extra vision. Loader still got the Aegis. Not to mention 2,500 life for them to get through. And 35 armor.
Yeah, Vlad's
How many
Lotus
sentries
Orb.
do you need? They just keep throwing them out until they're going to find the next assassin. Loader again keeps spinning the second he gets Hurricane piked.
Oh, he's pushed way up.
Just some farms in range. He's in range of the I think they can vac him up the hill.
Does that see him? It's close.
It's right in the middle of the burrow.
Okay, they see him.
Yeah.
They pushed this little burrow away.
To be honest, I thought they'd drag him in and just attack him. Yapsaw. They get the amplification over on Loader. Loader can't break free of it. The ET splitter forever, but get the wall down. He sacrifices life for it. No, he gets back on a B-stick of life. But Fada, he's so low. He's looking for a stun to target, and he can't get it off. He's down for 80 seconds. They don't have their big core, and it will be GG. Alliance will take the game, and they will end their European day tied for first with the team they just beat. They just brought down Bears. They end 4-1.
Yeah, their lanes were just super solid, and whenever your lanes go that well and you have these slow cores like the OD, Darkseer hero that you really want to be ahead, you want to be able to just run at the other team to do anything whenever you have those kinds of cores, and there's just nothing they could do. The OD just had to kind of sit around and farm. They went for smokes, looking for something, but Alliance was always in good positions, and they were never really able to bring down any heroes.
Man, really just great performance out. And Alliance doing what I don't think many people would have really bet on them to do. They leveled up, so at the end of the European day, we have Bears and Alliance tied for first position. And then Ninjas in Pajamas and Team Secret tied for third. They're sitting at 3-1. And then you go into the rest of the boys. With
So is Cloud9 fifth?
Cloud9 is fifth. They are tied with Elements Pro after a 2-2 day.
That is not great for them.
No, it is not. But tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow we'll have the European games going. Of course, the games go almost non-stop throughout the days. Of course, you can check out the Summit stream. It's just beyond the Summit. In fact, I believe they're already doing the North American and South American games over there. So if you want to go check them out, you can do so. And of course, we are running our streams almost non-stop. Actually, it is non-stop. It is non-stop. But hey, tune in for the Americas. There's only like 5 hours worth of games.
Yeah, and 8 oats.
Yeah. Best region in the world, I hear. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back with more action. I have no idea what's coming up next, but one way to find out is stay watching. We'll see you soon.
E-Gaming Bets, online